If you're an avid live streamer, you probably know that Elgato's Stream Deck has been one of the primary devices that people will typically recommend to make your streaming operations more efficient. But they're not the only company that makes products like this. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Loupedeck Live and Live S to see how much easier these products really make live streaming. Starting off with the Loupedeck Live S, it comes in a nice package presentation. In the box, you're gonna get the Loupedeck Live S, a braided USB-C cable with a USB-A to USB-C adapter, as well as a stand. The Loupedeck Live also comes in a very nice package presentation. This box is gonna be a little bit bigger based on the increased size of this device. It also comes with a braided USB-C cable, a USB-A adapter, in addition to the stand. As for the pricing between these two devices, the Loupedeck Live S is gonna come in at $189, whereas the Loupedeck Live is gonna come in at $269. Of course, with the price difference, you're gonna get some differences in features. The Loupedeck Live has a nice aluminum front-facing finish to it, whereas the Live S does have more of a plasticky finish. Both of them feel high quality and sturdy. On the backside of both of these devices, you're gonna have rubber bottoms to help keep the device stabilized on your desk. The stands do feel a little bit on the cheaper side, but once you actually get them locked into the slots, they actually feel pretty solid. I never ran into issues with the stand falling apart while using this product. As for the touch buttons, on the Loupedeck Live S, you're gonna get 15 buttons, and on the Loupedeck Live, you're only gonna get 12. Now keep in mind, the buttons are not physical buttons. It is a touch screen, so when you press an action key, it's gonna give you a nice vibration or a little sound feedback to let you know that you pressed it. There are, of course, physical buttons you can press here as well. The Live S has 4 physical buttons and 2 analog dials, whereas the Live has 8 physical buttons and 6 analog dials. So the Live definitely gives you more configuration options that you can have in front of you at a single time, but that doesn't mean you get any less customization options on the Live S. You can configure multiple pages, swipe left and right horizontally to access those pages, and if you have additional actions assigned to your dials, then you can just swipe vertically to access those. The display quality that both of these Loupedecks output is really solid. You can see all of your assigned actions very clearly, and you can even adjust that brightness display if you'd like. The dials you get on each of these devices is tactile, meaning it won't be a smooth motion when you're turning the knob, but rather a precise adjustment that you can feel with each turn. So now how about I show you guys how you can integrate the Loupedeck into your gaming live streaming setup by first plugging in the device into your Windows or Mac computer. You'll then need to go to Loupedeck's website and download the software applicable to your machine. You can install Loupedeck software like you would any other program on your computer, and once it's complete, you can launch it. Now, before I show you guys how you can use the Loupedeck to build out your own custom stream control center, let me first take sorry, allergy season. As I was saying, let me take you around Loupedeck's application so that you know how to navigate it and you know what's what. Starting off on the left-hand side of this application, you're gonna see a drop-down for the Loupedeck device that is plugged into your computer. To the right of that, you're gonna have a drop-down menu for your profiles. And what a profile is for the Loupedeck is essentially a collection of actions, either tied to your computer itself or to a specific application. Now, you guys are also gonna see a feature here called dynamic mode. So with this turned on, if you're in the specific application that your profile is associated with, then that's the profile that Loupedeck is going to show. Now, moving over to the workspace dropdown, this is gonna be a more finite collection of your profiles. This feature makes it easy and clean to organize the different actions associated with a specific profile. Speaking of actions, if you look over to the right-hand side, this is where you're gonna see all of the different actions that you can possibly apply to your Loupedeck. You'll see that they're broken out by either custom, OS, Loupedeck, or application plugin specific actions on the left-hand side. You can search for specific actions by using the search function, and you'll see the actions will either have a button press or a dial looking icon next to it. Now, if there's an app that you don't see the actions for, first make sure that it's not hidden within your show plugins menu, and you can also search the marketplace as well for not only just plugins, but pre-made profiles, icon packs, and more. For applications that you might want to use that the Loupedeck marketplace does must not have, you'll need to use custom actions. I'll show you guys some examples of how that can work in just a second. Okay, let's make a live streaming control setup. So I'm actually gonna do this from scratch. What I have up right now is just the LiveVest's default profile, which is actually perfectly tailored for streaming, but we wanna do something more custom here. So what we can do is go up to where the main profile is set, select the three-dotted icon, and I'm gonna go to manage profiles. Then I'm gonna go to the right-hand side here to add a new empty profile. I'm gonna name this live stream central, select OK. We have it selected now, close, and now we have a completely empty profile after we unassign that. So the primary streaming application we're going to be using today is Streamlabs Desktop. You can also use OBS or Twitch Studio. They have direct integrations with Loupedeck as well. But to leverage Streamlabs, I'm going to go to the Streamlabs Desktop icon right here. The first action I'm going to want to be able to do is to start streaming. So I'm going to take this toggle right here and just drag it onto one of the empty unassigned slots. I'm also going to want to have one for recording as well. Let's also have the replay buffer toggle and the replay buffer save. Now I also want to set up some actions to switch between different scenes within my Streamlabs project. So let's first make sure we have some scenes set up that we can actually play with. So I'm going to add my capture card here. There it is. Let's throw the face cam in there too. Why not? There we are. Resize here. And then we're going to add another scene. I'm going to name it full face cam. We'll add the Insta360 as an existing source, select add, and there we go. So now we have our full face cam source as well as the gameplay. And now back in Loupedeck, I can go to my scenes drop down. I'm going to select full face cam. We're going to bring that right to this and gameplay here. So now back in my Streamlabs project, I can switch between my gameplay scene and my full face cam with a single click of a button. Now I also have this media video graphic that I want to include within my project here. And now within Loupedeck, I can go to the sources folder, go to the gameplay scene folder, and you can see that the source that I just added into Streamlabs has populated right in Loupedeck. And now I can take this, let's drag it to this assignment. And now when I go to disable that source and then re-enable it, that subscribe animation is going to appear right on my stream. The next thing I'm going to add to this profile are some Twitch actions. Now I will need to sign into Twitch in order for this to work. Literally just one click if you're already signed into Twitch on your computer. And now I have the access to use any of these actions directly with my Twitch account. Let's do viewer count, create clip, and run commercial. You're not streaming 8 hours a day for nothing. You can even set how many seconds you want those ads to run for. Go ahead and select save, and you're good. Now, you guys remember earlier I mentioned not every application has a plugin available for Loupedeck. So I want to be able to integrate my Insta360 link webcam that I'm using for my face cam as well as Discord with this Loupedeck. So one way I can do that just within this general default profile is just by right clicking on one of the unassigned actions. I can go to create a custom action and then I can use keyboard shortcut. This first one's going to be for Discord mute. Scroll down a little bit, you should see the keybind that you need to select for it. So that'll be Control-Shift-M for muting yourself on Discord. Select save. And what's also nice is that you can select this icon image here to be able to upload your very own. So I can go ahead and select the browse option, go ahead and find the image that I want to use, select it. I can modify the icon's text here and then go ahead and select save. And now back in Discord, I can mute and unmute myself at a single tap. I'm going to add another custom action. This one's going to be for the Insta360 link. In the control software for this webcam, I set 2 different positions that I want my webcam to adjust to. The shortcut for this is going to be Alt-1 and Alt-2. Now, if we go back to Streamlabs, I can switch between these 2 different webcam positions at the single click of a button. This page is starting to fill up a little bit. Let's add another one by selecting the plus button there. This one's going to be for our Spotify music. You're going to need Spotify Premium in order to do this. And then you're also going to need to log into your Spotify account. Again, just a click of a single button, and you don't even need an API key. How awesome is that? I'm going to add the Spotify volume rotation option to one of the dials here, which is going to apply to the whole profile. Let's also bring in the toggle mute function to that dial as well. So now when I twist it, volume raises or lowers, and if I tap it, it's going to mute. Let's go to the playback folder, previous track, shuffle play, next track, toggle playback. And I want to assign one more action to this dial. So back in the Streamlabs section in Loupedeck, we're going to go to the audio folder, and let's take the Elgato 4KX and put it on this dial. If I want to assign even more stuff to these dials, all I need to do is just add another page for the dials as well, just like I did for the pages going horizontal. We can also assign things to the circle buttons out here. You can do pages or workspaces, for example, for easier access. You can also modify the colors of these circle buttons if you want. And now I can switch between these two pages with quite ease without having to swipe. I'm not a big fan of the swiping, just because you kind of can tap things accidentally. Having the buttons for pages makes it pretty clean. So now, who is the Loupedeck for? I would definitely say it's for someone that's not married to Elgato's ecosystem or environment, such as their lights, microphone, software, all of that all together, because that stuff works well with Elgato's Stream Deck because everything's built into it. But with something like the Loupedeck Live, your level of customization can go much deeper, especially if you put in the time to learn. The Live S, on the other hand, is the device that I think would fit for the majority of you guys. It's smaller, form factor, has a cheaper price, and most importantly, this device definitely lived up to its expectations for being a live streaming control center. I do hope that in the near future that Loupedeck gets support for YouTube streaming like it has for Twitch right now, and that the Streamlabs integration comes to the Mac operating system too. Thank you to Loupedeck for sending me both of these devices to test and try out for this video. If you're interested in either one of these products, feel free to use my affiliate link in the description below. It does help out the channel. I appreciate you staying to the very end, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.